Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Our business needs vans, lots of vans, and Europcar meets our day-to-day needs all across the country, providing our company with the ideal selection of small, medium or large vans and trucks, and even bespoke commercial vehicles delivered directly to our premises.
From our 22 nationwide locations, Europcar supplies Irish businesses with an unrivaled range of vans, 4x4 pickups, 4-seater commercial SUVs and double cab tippers. With 9,000 vehicles in our fleet, there's no demand we can't fulfill. Europcar, moving your way.
After a great start to the Euro 2020 qualifiers, the Republic of Ireland look to continue their 100% home record as they take on Switzerland on Thursday, September 5th at Aviva Stadium. Then on Tuesday, September 10th, we go again at Aviva for the 3 international friendly versus Bulgaria. Kick-off for both games 7:45. Show your support for the boys in green this September. Tickets on sale now starting at €20 from fai.ie/tickets. Booking fee applies.
ChristopherMedia.net.
From Asthma Core Studios near Detroit, Michigan, it's Unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
And now, here are your hosts.
Welcome to Unregimented number 277. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Rich.
And the Mueller report came out today, and they put Donald Trump in cuffs immediately and started impeachment. Wait, no, they didn't. They didn't do anything. Nothing changed since a month ago.
Well, I mean, nothing changes in, like, we were expecting some sort of change to happen the day of. We got new information. That's changed.
What new information?
What do you mean, what new information? We have a lot more of the Mueller report to look at than we did a month ago.
Well,
that's new information to us.
Correct. You're not wrong. But I guess the one thing I've been wondering this whole last month is, what did people think was going to change? The investigation is over. Like, it didn't continue for the next month. It's over. Anyone they were going to indict was indicted during the process. I don't understand what people were expecting to happen today.
I'm not sure what you're talking about expectations. Like, I don't think there were any reasonable expectations. It was just, we want the information.
But you just used a word in there that kind of colored it. Reasonable. Yes, you're talking about reasonable thinking people. You know.
Okay.
I'm talking.
Let's talk about reason. I mean, let's not talk about just any wacko that you happen to pass by on Twitter that had some sort of expectation of what was to happen today. I mean.
Okay. All right, Aaron. I get it. You're trying to hold this up as like, okay, something happened today. What did happen today? Tell me, because I
nothing happened today. What do you mean? The Mueller report, a redacted version of the Mueller report was released.
Exactly.
But versus
nothing
what? You're like,
today.
Right? No, who's expecting something to happen? What was the expected result?
Oh, don't!
I'm not.
Come on! You know that there were people that were like, "Oh, it's the last shot."
See anything out there?
There we go. There we go. Okay. Well, yeah, that's what. I'm sorry, Chris. I don't mean to speak for you, but I'm. Seems like that's what you're talking about. The people that are like, "Oh, this is our last chance. This is our last shot," and there's going to be, the smoking gun in the release of the entire report today. Blah, 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 blah.
I follow some wackos on Twitter. You guys must be really out there with the people that you're following, if that's what you're seeing online.
I don't know. Who do you follow?
I just read our unregimented Twitter feed, the people that follow us.
Well, throw me some examples then, because I don't know what...
Okay, well,
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Let's see. Hashtag impeach the MF. Rosenstein was not comfy. What should really be investigated are those in the orbit of the DJ. You know what I mean? Impeachment hearings for Barr need to start tomorrow, period. Is Trump still president? Fuck this America. I mean, I'm like an eighth of the way down the feed.
Right. So, I mean, these are people expressing frustration. not making reasoned evaluations of the information that's coming out.
Okay, well, then let's talk about people expressing frustration. I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about reaction to it. We're not talking necessarily that their reaction is reasoned. A lot of people had fucking, their lack of a better term, their hopes and dreams wrapped up in this. They were thinking that this is going to be it. We're going to get Trump, et cetera, and it didn't happen.
Well, let's look at what did happen. We had a press conference from the Attorney General hours before the redacted report is to be released. Why do we need that? Why did we need a press conference to happen before the redacted report that we saw? Shouldn't it happen after?
Well, because was it Barr saying he was living up to his promise of full transparency? Isn't that technically why he had the press conference?
I guess so, but wouldn't that seem to be more transparent if he did so after he released it, so they would have something to talk about? I mean, if he does it before the release, then nobody has any real questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you could get up there and say whatever you want about it. You've already said your piece about it. Either you support Trump and you just back the fact that he has a stooge as an attorney general, or you realize now, especially with this press conference, that the man has zero credibility. William Barr, that is. I mean, Trump has none either.
Well, I was about to say Barr and Trump, no credibility. So absolutely. But isn't that very Trumpish? Like, let's get out ahead of this thing. Hey, it's crazy. There's nothing in this report that you're going to hear about in 15 minutes. It's crazy. I don't know.
It's pointless. It's not pointless. The point is to make sure that the White House spin stays on the story of the Mueller report.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
To which I respond, duh.
No, not duh. Well, nobody's surprised, but aren't you angered that the Attorney General is working for the president and not for the people?
No.
Why not? That's part of how the system is set up.
We don't elect the Attorney General. We elect the president.
Yeah, we elect the president, and we expect the Attorney General to be put in place to represent all.
If you want to get down to the black and white of it, the Attorney General works for the president because he's appointed by the president.
No, he doesn't work for the president. And specifically for cases like this is the reason why he doesn't work for the president. So that he can be impartial, investigate, and be an actual check on power, like the separate function.
All he did was read what was in there. Like, did you watch it? Most of his sentences started with the special counsel, like, it wasn't like he was giving his opinion up there.
Listen, he doesn't have to state anything as opinion. When you cherry pick, that is putting your spin on it. That is your opinion. You don't have to state, this is my opinion. By selectively releasing information from the report and highlighting that in your press conference, that is the spin.
No, I got to agree with Aaron on this. Attorney General is supposed to work for the people, not the president.
100%.
Supposed to. Or as my friends in Redford say, SPOTA. But, what's supposed to happen and what does happen in these days and in this time, two different things.
Well, we also found out that the Department of Justice was sharing the information from the Mueller report with the White House prior to the release of even the summation that William Barr put out a month ago. So they were soliciting the White House's opinion on how this report should be spun.
Which kind of, doesn't it throw a monkey wrench into the whole obstruction of justice? Maybe, question mark. Like, how do you have an obstruction of justice if you're actually feeding information to the person that you're investigating?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's,
it basically casts a pall over everybody that's involved in the situation.
Yeah, I hesitate to draw any to speculate on any conclusions of what's in the Mueller report. It came out this morning. It's 450 plus pages. Of course, I didn't read it. I saw plenty of excerpts from it out on Twitter. But again, that's kind of the same thing. If I'm going to say that Barr is putting a spin on it by cherry picking the report, well, anybody that I read on Twitter that's going through and highlighting parts and throwing that up is doing the exact same thing. All you can really do is hope to come to some sort of consensus with people that you trust as reliable sources. And I think it's too early to really have any of that. I think we need, as a country, to absorb the information in here fully. But there are some interesting highlights. And the consensus as far as obstruction seems to be that obstruction happened as far as the Mueller report is concerned. It's just not clear if it happened with intent.
Yeah, they can't prove that there was intentional wrongdoing.
Right. Well, when it comes to the obstruction issue specifically, it's noted that there was obstruction. But whether that obstruction was, I got to cover something up, or whether it was just blindly reacting to the investigation in general. Because we have the quote in there from Trump when he finds out that Mueller was appointed and apparently says, I'm fucked. Everyone says, a special counsel, when they're appointed, they're going to haunt your whole presidency. It's going to ruin everything. I'm fucked, he says. And honestly, I mean, it seems to paint him more as a bumbling idiot, or certainly as the Russians would call him, a useful idiot, more so than somebody that was actively trying to obstruct justice. So, but, okay, what we do also know about this report is that Russia had a real effort to affect our election. Yeah, and involving not just social media campaigns, not just spreading of misinformation, but actual hacking. They got access to the voter system in Florida. Whether that did any damage or changed any votes, I don't know if we'll ever know. Okay, but just that fact alone, that should be the headline.
Exactly.
Old news is our president is a boob. And he may be a malicious boob or just a complete idiot boob. But the new news is this is the actual proof of what another country did to directly attack us.
And the reaction is, Yeah. And by the way, this isn't the first time we've had as a nation, have had reaction to Florida, doing some African American engineering with an election, a presidential election. Oh, well, it happened in 2000. It just happens. It's Florida. What do you expect from these people?
Rich, I'm going to offer you a chance to retract your statement. I mean, taking the N-word out of the phrase doesn't make it any less offensive.
I don't even know what the fuck. What?
The African American engineering.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. You know that was a fuck up. Okay. All right.
I know that you are not racist, Rich. But that's a racist thing to put out on the podcast.
Okay, well then, but if I'd have said, okay, my bad, Irish American engineering, drunken engineering, would that be racist?
I guess technically the Irish part would, the drunken part wouldn't.
Well, all right, that's about as good as you're gonna get, man. It was a joke.
All right.
If it fell flat, it fell flat.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey.
Yeah, sorry. My boss called. The last I heard was the Russians gained access to the voting system in Florida.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as usual, the lead gets buried, I should say, not the headline. The headlines were all over the place about what Trump may or may not have done, but nobody's contesting any of Russia's involvement in this.
Yeah, well, weren't there a bunch of Russian nationalists indicted?
And that should be a bigger pox on the Trump White House than the scandal is, and the whole investigation. Just the fact that, we had some committees that looked over some information and went, by our assessment, Russians did do this, and then we did absolutely zero about it.
Well, Aaron, you just called it. The bigger issue is Russia was trying to fuck, whether or not they succeed or not, with our elections. Mm-hmm. Okay? And here's the deal. Why is that? Why are people just like, It
is curious. Well, because the attitude is that, we have bigger problems right here on our doorstep, right? We have a president that is a criminal or whatever you may think of him. We have a president who's un-American. We deal with that, and then we can deal with the Russian thing. Right. But this is, this is treating the symptom and not the disease.
We love doing that in this country, though. That's
if we believe that the Russians were effective in their campaign to, according to the Mueller report, it wasn't so much that they wanted to see Trump in office. It was that they definitely didn't want to see Hillary in office. So a lot of their misinformation campaigns were involving both Trump and Sanders. So, if you don't want people like Trump to end up in office, then maybe you should start directing some energy at the source of the people who wanted him more in office than a lot of Americans did.
Hey, man, but our new MO is we love pointing out, we love identifying the problem. We don't love coming up with the solution. I think it's another way of saying we treat the symptom, not the disease. But that's really that seems to be what we do probably the last decade. We are super great at identifying the problem, but when it comes to solving it, we're good. So
fighting other countries requires bipartisanship.
Mm-hmm. Good luck with our current batch in Washington, because then it would, involve discourse, not there's two top Democrats coming out saying impeachment would be a waste of time. Pelosi said it a month and a half ago, and was it the number two Democrat?
And she said it again today. Yes.
Yeah, and then the number two Democrat in the House said it today too. It'd be a waste of fucking time.
Well, right. We spent 2 years investigating. We will spend the next 2 wrapped up in impeachment, if that's the route they decide to go.
Mm-hmm.
Although there's nothing in the report that says that he can't be charged after he leaves the presidency.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is also like the complete opposite of total exoneration, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like the language in the report seems to kind of hedge it. We've found a lot of shit. We can't make it add up to something definite. So we can't actually charge anybody with anything. And also, we don't want to basically corrupt the FBI's bigger position in the U.S. by recommending that a sitting president be indicted. It wasn't so much that this president should not be indicted. It seems like Mueller's case is that the FBI shouldn't be it should be investigating and it should be passing on information. It shouldn't be directly indicting a sitting president.
Yeah.
I think, there's arguments to be made on both sides of that, I believe.
It makes my head hurt. So essentially, a sitting president is above the law?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me too, right? Which is why it kind of sounds ridiculous.
So we got king president.
I would go back to looking at the interviews that James Comey did after he left office, and the issues that he was facing as to why he announced the close of an investigation on Hillary but not the existence of a concurring investigation on Trump.
Well, let me ask you,
and why the Democrats turned on him because of that, because they looked at that as favoritism, and he was looking at it as having no good options. Basically, he made the one that he thought was best, not for him personally, but for the organization of the FBI.
Well, let me ask this question. Okay, if you guys remember, because I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember the exact facts of it, but Clinton was impeached for perjury. Did they disbar him while he was president as a lawyer? I mean, was that the only thing that really came out of that? I can't remember or not.
I think that's as far as it went.
Okay, and obviously,
but I don't know that.
Well, what I'm getting at is like, what exactly can they do to a sitting president if they can't bring him up on charges?
Well, I think the fear is that if the FBI gets charged with investigating a situation that involves the president, and then they come out with a report that is a smoking gun pointing right at the president, well, then they've just fashioned themselves into a very powerful weapon that can now be wielded in somebody else's hands in other ways. And it's kind of a dangerous precedent.
Definitely. Because anything that happens now is, yes.
It's looked at as like a strategy now. Like, if you just don't like your president, then you can just compile enough shit that makes it look like there's something there and put out this investigation that says, boy, this doesn't prove anything, but it sure looks horrible and doesn't speak well of your president, and then use that as a weapon to take that president out of office.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It becomes a political tool.
And, I don't agree with the idea of certainly of the president being above the law, but I believe in the bar for the president being higher than anybody else in the country when it comes to proving crimes.
Well, I'm still, my mind is still blown that, I'm a sitting president, so you can't charge me. Okay.
Well, that's part of this, is that it's up for debate. If we had clear laws on whether we could charge a sitting president with a crime, then I think we'd have a more direct result from this FBI investigation.
Yeah, Rich, to be fair, we're in uncharted territory here. No president has tested this before. Clinton was probably the closest.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I asked. I mean, ultimately, while he was sitting as president, he was just disbarred. There was no, hey, you are charged with this and you must defend yourself, and if you're found guilty, you're going to do, X amount of time, which, I mean, let's all of us laugh our, asses off at the fact that there's no president that's going to ever fucking do time. Nixon didn't do time. Okay. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like get the fuck out of here. It's just, it doesn't happen. Yes, you will be disgraced. Your presidency will be whatever the fuck it is, it'll have a, the smear on it for the rest of its, for as long as we keep history. But, Nixon didn't go to prison. He wasn't looking at a hard time, and that's, if you know that and you're the president, then okay, fine. Smear my legacy. Cool. But I'm not, I'm not eating ramen noodles.
That damage has already been done. I mean, that was kind of illustrated in the quote from Trump about him freaking out over just the existence of the special counsel, because he knows that people can say whatever they want about Trump, that he is sent to us by God or he is sent to us by Satan, right? Whatever side you pick. You're in the moment. What history is going to remember is a presidency that was riddled by scandal and investigation almost the entire time. That's what they're going to remember.
Well, yeah. It's the same thing
unless he builds that Great Wall of America, that'll be his memory for coming generations.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. I just, Game of Thrones started back up, and I just picture like the White Walker dragon just taking down the wall real quick. Yeah. But
I'd like to point out to everyone who's freaked out about the wall. We're over halfway through. No dirt has moved yet. Just saying.
Jesus. I mean,
it's an idea. It's something that he can, because it's my mom. Like she didn't even know. I didn't even have to prompt her. She's Catholic. She's conservative. What did she tell me the other day? At least Trump's doing what he said he's going to do. I was like, oh Jesus, not you too, Mom. But that's it right there. That's the whole reason. That thing will never be built. Just as long as he keeps talking about it and wants to do it until he leaves office. So it looks like he's, fulfilling a promise.
Well, wall or no, this is politics in 2019 in America. Let's investigate. Let's throw some question on some stuff. I mean, because wasn't that the big talk? Obviously with Clinton, it was, well, we got to investigate this. We got to investigate this, and if we're investigating, well, then there must be something there, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing stuck to Clinton. And then, with Obama, it was, there's, oh, shit, not...
Well,
the Benghazi thing, that wasn't really Obama, that was more Hillary.
But Rich, I think we need to define what it means to stick to a president. I mean, nothing sticks to him as far as, okay, he got disbarred, right? He can't practice law for a while. And there wasn't any real punishment there, but there are other consequences. I mean, first of all, what do people think about when we talk about the Clinton presidency? We think about Monica Lewinsky. We think about blowjobs and cigars, and I mean, that's what we really think about. We don't think about policy or even the state of the nation at the time and how effective he was as a president. We primarily think about the scandal. So it does have an effect, and not even just on the history. It has an effect on how effective a president can be at the time.
Yeah, true. Because what Bush? What does everybody think about? War criminal. It's all about the bad shit. Carter, the gas crisis. Reagan, Iran-Contra.
Well, I think that every president has something that some kind of negative thing that sticks to them in some way, some sort of controversy or investigation or something. But I don't know that that's the primary thing that you think of.
It's one of the first things that will come to mind.
Yeah, but when people think about the Bush presidency, they think about war presidency.
Yeah, I think.
And then if you're left leaning, then you're probably going to think war, and then war crimes, and then war criminal.
See, I think about just gangster in the 2000 election.
Well, yeah,
that's just me. That's just me. I
still falls on the bad side.
Well, but here's the deal. I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine, literally yesterday, and I told him, I said, look, Trump's a businessman and now a politician. Do I expect him to be fucking squeaky clean? Get the fuck out of my face. No, of course not. Of course not. Now, that doesn't excuse...
But you didn't vote for him.
But see, Aaron, right there, that's when... That doesn't excuse his behavior. Mm-hmm. But here's the fucked up part. I'm just like, of course he's dirty. And I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, this is the cynical side of me. You're a politician. Of course you're dirty. Of course you've done some dirt.
I'm waiting for shit to come out about Barry. Barry was too squeaky. I'm waiting for him to die and someone to write a book. Like I'm with you, Rich. I'm not surprised that anyone is in politics. You know, there's probably going to be, when Jimmy Carter finally dies, there's probably going to be crazy shit that comes out about him. You know, and he's been, you know, denoted as like the nicest quote unquote president in our lifetime. So,
and you know what? It'll break my heart because Carter is the one person I try to hold up as a I hold up as a politician. I'm like, I think that man actually walked the talk. As much as he could.
I think to be in politics, you got to be dirty.
Yes, but ultimately, yes, you gotta have a pig farm and a few bodies, you know, shoved in the pig farm if you're a politician.
That's so vague, though. I mean, what does that mean to you? That they probably committed some actual crimes?
Well, no.
Yes, not everything you've done to get to where you are, you've done ethically.
Well, apparently, if I'm president and I'm sitting, I've committed no crimes. So, you know, but no, look, man, I don't know. I would like to think it's not that way, but look at history. Fuck our presidential history. Look at history itself. People don't rise to power and get to be leaders like that. Just, you know, by like, oh, I bumbled into it. It's crazy, you know, but I'm a good guy.
Well, that's part of the reason why we have the system that we do, right? So that we don't have to be stuck with people in power that just bumbled into it.
Well, we don't have to stick for you know, generations. You know, we can get them out of power by voting and term limits. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, whatever.
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
Everyone shouts about how fast their broadband is.
We're fast, mega fast, stupid fast, almost too fast.
But what do they say about reliability? Well, Dublin, with Virgin Media, you get both. Ireland's fastest broadband network and 99.9% network reliability. Reliability at speed. See virginmedia.ie.
Terms and conditions apply. Ireland's fastest broadband network as awarded by Ookla. Network reliability. See virginmedia.ie/proof.
There's no need to describe in detail every inch of the new Range Rover Evoque. With its unmistakable coupe-like silhouette, you'll recognise that quiet refinement when you see it. And with a new mild hybrid electric engine and intuitive technology, you have a car that handles superbly, both on-road and off. So if you're looking for a compact SUV that takes city driving above and beyond, look no further. New Range Rover Evoque from €42,845. Book your test drive today at Conlon's Land Rover Nace. Delivery and related charges apply.
The Jaguar I-Pace is setting the pace for electric vehicles. Winner of the 2019 World Car of the Year, World Green Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year. To celebrate this treble win, we're offering €3,000 off all Jaguar models, plus a free 3-year service plan. Set the pace. Book your test drive today at Conlon's Jaguar Nace. Offer available until the 31st of August.
Everyone shouts about how fast their broadband is.
We're fast, mega fast, stupid fast, almost too fast.
But what do they say about reliability? Well, Dublin, with Virgin Media, you get both. Ireland's fastest broadband network and 99.9% network reliability. Reliability at speed. See virginmedia.ie.
Terms and conditions apply. Ireland's fastest broadband network as awarded by Ookla. Network reliability. See virginmedia.ie/proof.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Unregimented.
There's a lot of corrupt politicians out there. I'd be foolish to try and argue against that. But why else vote unless you expect something better?
Oh, man. We've already went over this during the midterms. I don't know. You vote. At least I do. I vote with hope that I'm not making the wrong decision. But deep down, I'm still voting for, in my mind, someone who wants power, so they should probably not have power. But I just hope that they wield that power righteously.
Right. I mean, because somebody has to.
Yeah, well, I mean...
So we're never going to find a perfect person to do it, but
no.
strive to find the most perfect.
as you have said, what is it? Don't let the lack of
don't let perfect be the enemy of good.
Yes, exactly.
Brian Eno, oblique strategy of the day.
Oh, see, Brian Eno. I thought that was Quincy Jones. God damn it! I
don't think that. I don't know that he originated the phrase or anything, but that is one of the oblique strategy cards that you pull out. If you're not familiar with these, it's basically just cards that Brian Eno designed that you can shuffle through and pull out randomly when you get stuck working on a song or any piece of art, really.
Yeah, and it's a very good card to pull out. It's true. I mean,
one that I left stuck up in my studio. I actually had it written on my monitor back when monitors had enough bezel around them to actually write shit and put stickers on. Now there's nowhere to put any stickers on your monitor, and even if you did, you wouldn't see any of them.
Yeah. Well, it's a very good quote, and I've used it ever since you've introduced me to it.
I think people need to start chanting that for this Democratic race leading into 2020.
Absolutely.
Bill
Burr said something on Monday that I'm surprised it's taken somebody this long to say. If all of your text messages and tweets got out publicly, would you have a job on Monday?
No.
Exactly. Why is it taking like 3 years of this shit for someone to finally say that?
Well, and then I don't know if it was Bill Burr, but it might have been. He said, by the way, anyone who spends their time going back 9, 10, 11 years in tweets looking for something to be like, oh, we got you. He's like, aren't they assholes? Why are we listening to them? Who's the same person they were 10 years ago? No one is. Everyone evolves and grows as a human being, and so why the fuck is something that was said 10 years ago in jest a joke, which, I made a joke earlier, it fell flat, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens. Right. That's how shit works. Well, I will never. Look, and this is where I agree with Patrice O'Neill. I will not defend the joke, but I will defend the attempt to be funny. That's it. Unfunny jokes and funny jokes are born from the same place, and
it's just a matter of perspective.
Exactly.
Okay. And it's not like I've gone back and thought like comedy routines and sketches and stuff that, this was just the funniest. Just you do this when you have kids, you don't know. Let me show you Kids in the Hall. This is classic comedy right here. And then it's just a guy like, I'm crushing your head, and you're like,
I'm crushing your head.
Yeah, that's wow. And they really kept doing this. This is like a reoccurring character too. Like, this isn't that good. And I'm not slandering the Kids in the Hall. I still think they're funny. But you're not going to find, maybe not even the next year, or you're not going to find the same stuff funny. It's what one individual finds funny in the moment.
Yes, and that's what I will defend. Someone was trying to make
the attempt to, if it comes from a pure place of trying to just make a joke and make people laugh. Yeah, I think that anything that you say is defensible.
But I mean, it might be like, ultimately looking back through the eyes of history as we do, and it seems like we really in 2019 America, we really want to apply our morals and outlook on people who existed 20, 30, 40 even a couple hundred years ago. But is that fair? Is that really fair?
It's never. I mean, it's unfortunate that the only perspective that we can have is the perspective of the now, because that's the moment that we all live in. So it's unavoidable, but it's certainly not fair. It's never fair.
You can't change a correct history. You can only move forward. You can only try to fix what you can only try to fix the wrongs, but to try to change it and correct it, retroactively, what's the trope? A fool's errand.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that Todd used to talk about. What's worse, Hitler burned the books, removed history. That's what he was trying to do. Stalin rewrote history. Which is worse? And Chris, I know I brought this up on Sporgy, but to me, trying to rewrite history is worse than just going. It never happened.
Yeah, because trying to rewrite it, you're trying to change what happened. At least denial kind of sort of acknowledges the existence of it.
Exactly. In a very fucked up way. Yes. So, wow, how'd we get on this?
Do we have to have a debate on who is worse, Hitler or Stalin, every episode?
It's our new shtick. We've been workshopping it.
Be bad.
Well, I mean, I whose mustache was better, Hitler or Stalin? I mean, Stalin had a very full, thick,
choice.
Sam Elliott mustache, but Hitler had that, he had that Michael Jordan mustache. So, what are you gonna do?
I know it's off subject. How can Michael Jordan is it because he's black? Like, a white guy shows up with that mustache, dude, it's over. Michael Jordan's been sporting that thing for years.
It's good, yes, because he's black.
If he was really getting away with it, he'd probably still have it, right? Like, it didn't last that long.
Who? Michael Jordan with his Hitler stash?
Right.
Oh, he's had it for the last 20 years.
It has?
Yeah.
He still has the mustache?
Yeah, he was.
So just don't look at recent pictures of him.
Well, I mean, why would you? You're not a sports guy. So, but no, he did those commercials where he's like,
I remember,
on a plane, he's like, it's crazy. My tag is.
Oh yeah, when he was doing the T-shirt commercials. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, that's a straight up Hitler mustache. And but it was Michael Jordan, and it's I guess America's like, Michael Jordan has a Hitler mustache. Okay, we're cool with it. It's like Will Smith, doing After Earth. We just go, what are you gonna do?
Well, for the record, as of the All-Star game this year, Michael Jordan no longer with the Hitler mustache.
Oh, he shaved. Okay.
Yes.
Well, look, he obviously really wanted a mustache, but but he didn't want to be Steve Harvey.
Well,
like, honestly, he grows a full mustache. And everyone's like, man, Steve Harvey's working out.
He's got to start buying dope suits.
Well, I mean, if he's going by the military, you're not supposed to have any hair on your mustache that goes beyond the corners of your mouth. So really, in the United States military, the only way to be on point with your and regulation is to rock the Hitler stash. So because it's like you gotta keep it this way. So I don't know. That's Shaq that had the father who was in the military. All right. Just totally shit on my own point. Never mind. Let's go. All right. Sorry. Shit. I thought I had a point.
So Hitler and Stalin
I didn't.
Who wins? No, wait.
Okay, wait. No, wait. There must be something else interesting going on this week, right? It wasn't all the Mueller report.
The church in France burned down.
Yeah. I mean, that was sad and kind of messed up, but
that brought out the stupid in so many people. Okay, so
there's a lot of people on my Twitter feed that are like watching the Hunchback of Notre Dame and crying. I'm like, what? How did this? I mean, I know that church was in the cartoon that you're watching, but And anyone who had visited the place since the invention of cell phones had that posted of like, oh, this is devastating. I remember visiting it, and then I'm like, yeah, I get it. You travel.
Yeah, you've been to France.
Ooh, you've seen it with your own eyes, so you know it can burn.
That goes back to the whole the thing I was talking about, the meme that's annoying me. It was people started posting pictures of the Hunchback from the Disney movie, and he goes, might burn down the chapel. I don't know, feeling cute. You know, like it's
feeling
like
cute. Might burn down the chapel.
Later. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
my favorite meme was the one I saw you post, Rich. The one about when the Paris police are knocking at your door,
and you got to hide your child porn.
Yeah,
and that one was literally like what? Like the shit was still burning. Mm-hmm. Why that someone made that? And I was like, yo, the internet is ruthless. They don't give a fuck, man.
But like, nothing major like this can pass without a conspiracy theory of some sort.
Oh no!
This is obviously Muslim terrorism.
Yes.
Muslims. The church is made out of stone. How could it burn?
Muslims. It's the old place of worship for the Catholic Church, and it has apparently
big MO for the Jews. They definitely love burning shit down.
I don't know about whoa. Hold on, because apparently inside the church they had a piece of the crown of thorns that was put on Jesus's head, and they're like, well, you know, the Jews, they don't like to remind us that they killed Jesus, so they had to burn this place down. And I'm like, no, they only waited 800 years to do it.
No, what? Do you guys go to racistconspiracies.com? Because I've just heard the good old, they were trying to remodel it. They were having trouble to get money to remodel it for renovation, so they burned it down. I've just heard good old insurance fraud.
For the insurance.
Yeah.
Got struck by Jewish lightning? The only Jewish thing is it got struck by Jewish lightning. Yes. that is a racist joke.
Yes.
But it's an attempt to be funny. So it's a callback to earlier. So, okay. All right. So
if you just jumped in now, rewind like a half hour, you'll get it.
But all right. So
okay.
It was probably just electrical failing of some sort, right?
All bullshit aside. Here's what shocked me the most is that private citizens are like, yeah, I'll donate couple million to help, restore this shit. It's like, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, people come out and go, the Catholic Church is worth $30 billion. Why are we donating to them to help rebuild this?
Yeah, and I can afford it.
And here's what I did. I went, wait, the Catholic Church is only worth $30 billion. I mean, if we're talking just where they're Catholic Church's property and the taxes that you should pay on that property, if they did pay taxes, I got to imagine it's more than $30 billion. Like that is prime real estate. That's burning. The Notre Dame Cathedral. It's prime fucking real estate
for the church.
Yes, for the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, wait. And then of course, then it hit me. I was like, yeah, why are people fucking donating to the Catholic Church to rebuild this shit? Don't they got enough money? Like,
I'm with you though, Rich. The NFL is worth like $83 billion. The Catholic Church has only got 30. The NFL is contained into a country and there's 32 teams. There are way more than 32 churches.
I'm really fucking tired of massive religious groups underestimating how much they're worth, but they preach what they call the prosperity gospel.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because it's got to be way more than $30 billion.
Yeah, worldwide.
Yeah,
I come the fuck on. I mean,
but when you don't pay taxes on anything, then you can get away with a lot more too.
Well, I mean, dude, they drop 8-9 million, as far as, sorry, one of our, pastors or fathers or whatever was sniffing your kid's booty hole. Sorry, here's 8 million. Just go away and be quiet and sign this NDA.
There we go. That's why they're not worth that much. All the lawsuits, all the settlements.
Well, I mean, as much as I think that...
Yeah, I think what they paid out is probably a pittance compared to their total net worth.
Exactly. It's just like Fight Club. We decide how much money it would be worth to go to court versus how much is settlement, and there you go. It's a lot easier to just pay people to go away and shut up, and you'd be surprised how many people, you know what I'm saying? How many people and how often this happens. But yeah, 30 billion is what the Catholic Church is like claiming. Like, well, we're only worth 30 billion, and this is a priceless structure, and it's crazy. We get the fuck out of here.
Well, so if we believe that the fire in the Notre Dame Cathedral is a complete accident, which it seems to be, then what the fuck happened today at St. Patrick's in New York?
Oh, is that where
guy
they
who turns out to be a philosophy professor is questioned when he walks into St. Patrick's Cathedral with two, these look like 5-gallon jugs for two gas cans, two big gas cans, and two bottles of lighter fluid, and two of those big ass lighters that you light fires in the fireplace with the long nose on them.
Yeah.
And he says that his car was out of gas and that he was taking a shortcut through the church, by the way. Because everybody, first of all, that has to walk with a gas can to go get gas goes, might as well fill up 2 of these just to be sure.
Yeah, what are you filling up? A fucking tractor trailer?
Hey,
full of diesel?
Drive a Hummer? You're like, I'm not sure 5 gallons is going to get me to the next gas station.
Well, I mean, there is a I don't know how to phenomenon or whatever of in Europe of burning churches. But I mean, that's
happens in the U.S. too.
Well, I mean, but that is almost it is. I hate to say this, as fucked up as it is, it's attached to a music scene. It's attached to the black metal music scene. Burn churches.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't think this is one of them situations. I just think it's, hey, a crazy person was like, they're burning down Notre Dame? Well, fuck touchdown, Jesus. Let me get 2 5-gallon jugs of fucking, lighter fuel and go on my way.
Yeah.
I just... I mean, it's the same thing as... Have you guys heard about the
Columbine chick?
Yeah, well,
I'm going to bring up?
Yeah, I was about to say... but I can't say it because, the only people that commit domestic terrorism is white males, not a white woman. But, she was supposedly going to do something because she was enthralled. Even though she was 18 years old, she was not even born when Columbine happened 20 years ago on the 20th.
Right.
She was enthralled by what they did. So
yeah, I don't really understand the story, but apparently she drove to Columbine and on the way purchased a shotgun.
She purchased a shotgun and a according to the FBI, suspicious amount of
ammo
for that shotgun. She also bought a one-way ticket to Colorado, which is, I guess, the most damning. If you
I thought you drove there. Did you fly there?
According to NPR, she purchased a one-way ticket. As far as driving, I don't know, but she did purchase a one-way ticket according to NPR. Now that I mean, she could have bought one and then changed her mind, whatever the fuck. I don't know.
I wonder, or maybe she drove to Columbine, but purchased a one-way ticket to fly out of Columbine, out of the country. I don't know.
Now, guys, you're going to have to forgive me here, and I'm sure I'm going to butt up against some opposition in this way I look at it. Having said all that, she never committed a crime. Why was the FBI up her ass? I mean, watching her, fine, but seeking her out as if she committed a crime, she didn't. If the woman.
I get your point, Rich, but she was talking about a lot, I guess, about a violent incident. Okay, I think that puts her on the radar there. And then you mentioned the plane ticket. Yeah, so she's on a watch list, and then she purchases a one-way plane ticket. I think that's when the FBI go, let's see where she's going.
No, absolutely. I have no problem with, we're keeping an eye on her. But to make her we're looking for her actively as if she committed a crime. And then, we found her. It's crazy. She killed herself. It's like, okay, well, why were you, she didn't commit a crime. Okay. Why are you releasing this to the public? Why is that, you know what I'm saying? Keep that internal.
Right. Well, I mean, she popped up in the news before she killed herself, though, or at least before it was known that she killed herself. I mean, I don't know. Like I said,
I just have a real problem with convicting people before due process, and it just this to me smacks of, oh yeah, you said all the you hit all the crazy triggers that we need to watch you. That's fine. If you hit those triggers, yes, law enforcement should watch you. But then to be like, we're actively seeking this person out. What did they do wrong? They didn't commit a crime. Why are you seeking this person out? Why are you?
They want to question her.
What crime did she commit?
Well, I mean, look, you don't have to charge somebody with a crime in order to question them.
No, yeah, absolutely. You can be a person of interest, and even though that colors you as a certain, this is a person of interest, that just means the police want to talk to you. Absolutely, I understand that, but I just something just, I don't know, it doesn't sit right, and that's my civil libertarian in me. So I guess ultimately, forgive me for that, or condemn me for that.
No, I'm with you, Rich. I'm kind of torn on this too, because it's really skirting that line of personal freedom versus protection of the populace. And I don't know. I don't necessarily come down one way or the other on either side.
Well,
I think the best you can do in situations like this is, well, look, we're never going to know exactly what happened. First of all, we're trying to decipher the movements of a crazy person, right? Or to not be
a very
mentally ill person, I should say.
Yeah. No matter what you can. Yes, exactly.
No matter what you think she was capable of doing, she was clearly not well.
Yeah, she wasn't. She wasn't thinking. but then again, she wasn't thinking right. What's right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can get into that, but I don't want to get into that. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
we don't need to get that deep into the weeds on it. But
yes.
But so you start with trying to figure out the motives of somebody who's insane, and then try and apply the law to how that, how do you deal with that type of person in interest of public safety. And, there is no easy answer for that. I think the best we can hope for is that we just know enough about this that we can trust that our police organizations in this country, like the FBI, are doing their jobs as well as they can and not abusing their power. But who's to know? I mean, the only reason we hear about this case is because she was out and they wanted to find her, so they made it publicly known.
Well, and not only that, but they suspended school for 500,000 students, 500,000 students in Colorado.
Yeah.
And NPR went to a public park and said, went to the parents and said, can we ask your children why they think they're not in school today? And they were like, the ones that said okay were like, yeah, go ahead. And they were like, something to do with the plumbing. Like, these kids had no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not pointing to. I'm not trying to connect dots that don't exist. But I mean, it's like, wow, that's crazy when you think about it. That 500,000 students were told don't go to school, and when they asked a sample size, they were like, oh yeah, it's about the plumbing. And parents are like, I'm not going to fucking argue with it. It's easier than explaining what the fuck they're not in school for.
Right. I think that's an acceptable lie, honestly, because I don't see the upside of telling all those 5,000 plus students that you're being sent home because we think you might be shot in your school today.
Absolutely. I'm not even arguing that point. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, but I do feel where you're coming from, because this is these crazy people. I'm sorry, I keep saying crazy people. That's a very offensive term.
No, you know what?
People who suffer from mental illness.
We've been offensive as fuck through this whole show. Let's keep the shit going. Crazy ass motherfuckers. There, I'll say it. So. But
they feed into these conspiracy theories because all they're really doing is reacting to things in the zeitgeist, right? In days of yore, when it was just a village idiot, some mentally retarded person that lived off of scraps, there was no bigger ideas to attach to. So it was play with your own feces, and people knew to avoid you. Now you don't have to play with your own feces. You have the whole world's feces there online to play with. And you can just pull whatever shit that you want. But what are people talking about? Oh, this church burnt down? Oh, I can get on that train. I'm crazy as a motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. Oh, school shootings? Oh, hell yeah. That's my thing.
And I just have to say this, Aaron, I dipped my toe. I relapsed. I dipped my toe into the chants, and first page, this person's that supposedly killed herself. That's not a real person. It's a what is it? AI conglomerate. That's what her face.
It's a composite image.
Yes, it's not a real person.
An algorithm.
Yes, and this is to get, and I'm like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I can't keep up. Even if I wanted to, for morbid curiosity, I couldn't keep up.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. And then I just logged off, and I just hoped that the FBI didn't show up at our front door. That's it. Like, it's like, I'm sorry. I had a moment of weakness. I went to the chans. I saw this nonsense. I didn't co-sign on it. I just saw it, and like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Really? And that's the thing. Like, that's the scary part of, in my mind, of whenever something happens, immediately the conspiracy theories start, aka the fire with the Notre Dame Cathedral. There was, supposedly a video that someone posted online that said, oh, they said that no one was, above a certain level of the, like on the 4th, 5th, 6th floor of the Notre Dame Cathedral. And then they were like, but it's burning. And if you look here, there's a person walking there. Who is that person? What are they doing there? And I'm like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Can't a fucking 800-year-old plus made of wood place burn down? I mean, you know, why does it have to be like, no, it was a controlled demolition and, you know, blah, blah, and they did this. And
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, everyone! Vinny the Frog here down at AquaZone in the Sport Ireland campus in Blanchardstown. Come and enjoy tropical wild water fun. AquaZone is open daily this summer, just minutes from Junction 6 on the M50. Book now at aquazone.ie.
The Jaguar I-Pace is setting the pace for electric vehicles. Winner of the 2019 World Car of the Year, World Green Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year. To celebrate this treble win, we're offering €3,000 off all Jaguar models, plus a free 3-year service plan. Set the pace. Book your test drive today at Conlon's Jaguar Nace. Offer available until the 31st of August.
Everyone shouts about how fast their broadband is.
We're fast, mega fast, stupid fast, almost too fast.
But what do they say about reliability? Well, Dublin, with Virgin Media you get both. Ireland's fastest broadband network and 99.9% network reliability. Reliability at speed. See virginmedia.ie.
Terms and conditions apply. Ireland's fastest broadband network as awarded by Ookla. Network reliability. See virginmedia.ie/proof.
ChristopherMedia.net. Unregimented.
This, like, the invention of photography was corruptive to the human mind, honestly, because while we thought, like, oh, this is it, now we can see the thing itself, right? This is proof of whatever.
The thing itself.
The thing itself, right? We don't need any. We have now photos that we can show.
We going to the San Francisco Jacks? What?
We can witness the thing itself. No, so people just stopped believing in other humans, right? I think we were better off, we were more well-informed when we are actually just trusting of other human sources. We're never going to get the full story directly. We're never going to know the full truth about anything. But we see a video or a photo and we think that we do. We think that that is like hard proof of something because we saw it with our own eyes.
Well, look at 2 years ago with Dr. Dow, right?
Yes.
All we saw was him getting dragged off. We didn't see the 10 minutes of video before where they're arguing with him and he's being obstinate.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, all we see is it's kind of bringing it back to like the Mueller report. We just pick out what we want and go, here you go.
Right. What's happening?
Yeah.
That's all I think about on that Dr. Dow video. Yeah. Like, bitch, you're on the fucking plane. We're watching the video. We can see what's happening. How do you not know?
Yeah.
This is news to you?
Yeah. That whole situation just, you guys, because I travel all the time on planes all the time. You don't just get dragged off a plane. All right. It escalates. That's what bothered me about that whole thing is all we saw was the end of the situation. We didn't see 10 minutes of him being an asshole talking about he's going to sue Delta while they're telling him, hey, you got to move. Or United or fucking whatever he flew. And just we do that now. We take what we like and there you go. Pixar didn't happen, ruined us.
Well,
what you also didn't see is them getting together and going, who are we going to kick out the plane? Well, there's no black people on this flight, so let's take the Chinese guy.
Yeah. Let's take the motherfucker it's like, now. Yeah, take him off.
We didn't see them spinning their wheel of races to see who they were going to kick off. Oh, landed on Asian. Let's go.
But I, at the same time, I'm like, I can't really defend airlines because have you flown recently? Yes, Chris, I know that this is a rhetorical question for you. It's like they're kind of assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
after 7 years of traveling, my theory is we have taught them to treat us that way. Quite honestly, we've made them treat us that way. People are fucking assholes when they travel.
No, absolutely. I mean, the last time I flew was 2006, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because before that, it was pre 9/11 is the last time I flew. And I was like, it's a completely different experience. When
I started traveling, I had that attitude, man, fucking airlines, man, fucking. Now, that's it. 7 years later, I'm on their side. Like, no, you have to treat us like this because we have proven that we won't behave, quite honestly. We have proven that left to our own devices, we're going to be dicks. So now we have to be treated this way.
Every flight would be like fucking Animal House. People would just walk around in togas, grabbing each other's ass.
Drunk, fat, and stupid is no way to go through life.
Bring their pet goat onto the flight and some cigars.
Hey, but the first douchebag to fucking start playing Wonderwall, I agree with smashing his acoustic. I'm just saying. That's
go with Adam Carolla's idea. We need that cage in the back, like in Con Air. You act up, you toss in that cage. A more reclining seat for you.
Wait. Well, that's also another trope on another podcast. No more guns for you. No more. No more flying for you. No more. You want to get somewhere, you better drive. Don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Like, it is.
Just have them lay on a bushel of hay. Like, where did you get that? Where'd you get that harmonica?
They install a trap door and they just drop you into the cargo hold. You get to wait here till we land.
Like, it's like the movie Life. You gonna eat that cornbread? No, but you can't have my cornbread. Oh, all right. So I really want to take a hard left here. I forgot to bring this up during pre-show talk. Did you guys hear about American neuroscientists reactivated brains of
the pig brains?
Yes, pigs that had been killed 4 hours earlier.
Abby normal?
They were okay. So, yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of time to read the story, but I read some headlines about it and gleaned that apparently they ran some electrical current through the pig brain that had been dead for over 4 hours and saw some actual activity in the brain.
Yes. Okay. Is it just me or is that terrifying, the thought of that?
Of what? Of just pig brains or of reanimating things? Or
yes.
I know it's fascinating.
The old trope that comes up when stuff like this, we're playing God, right?
Well, I mean, okay, there's that, and then there's...
You got to believe in God first before you can say that you're playing it.
We're playing the concept of God. How about that, Aaron?
And then there's the, this is, moment zero of the zombie apocalypse. Of course, that simple, easy.
Oh, God. No. I want the story to go away just so... No. Because now we're going to let the zombie assholes start saying they're real. Good God, no.
But, I mean, guys, I want you to... I want you to
have to do with zombies.
Well, because that there's assholes that are going to extrapolate that from that. They're going to go, well, I mean, the pigs were dead for 4 hours, and then they shot electrodes into their brain, and their brains started back up. Part of their brains, and come on.
Part of my 4-part plan. Step 1, get dead pig brain. Step 2, shock dead pig brain. Step 3, question mark. Step 4, zombieism is real.
See, I'm just like, step 1, cut a hole in the box. You know what I'm saying? But I'm simple.
No, so the fact that you could run electrical current through a deceased brain and see patterns that actually make sense and that seem to hint at real functionality, not just random electrical movements inside a matter of this gray matter. I think that's fascinating as a concept.
Okay, great. It's fascinating, but here's the deal. It terrifies me because dead should stay dead.
It's not... The fact that the pig brains were dead is kind of incidental to this.
Wait,
I mean,
that's the big thing.
No, I understand, but it's what they're trying to prove is not that you can reanimate dead brains or that there's some kind of afterlife or anything weird like that. It's looking at what actually makes a brain function.
No, I get that.
And you can only test this on a dead brain, hence the pig brain.
Well, as of
I think
now,
Rich is worried about it's not going to stop here.
Human brain. If we did this to a human brain, then the thought would be, okay, well, if there's patterns and there's thoughts, and if there's thoughts, what the fuck are they thinking? And are they in pain? And did you bring a consciousness back to life?
Well, yeah, and it's exactly. I mean, that's the terrifying part. And I mean, let's be honest here. This is just the start. It's not the start. No, Aaron. CRISPR was just used in America.
Okay.
What do you mean?
This week over the world, constantly.
Well, no. I understand that, but it was just used in America, which means basically we're rubber stamping it. Like, okay, yeah,
it's been in use. Is there some specific use of it though that you find troubling? What was it that recently happened in America that was any different than what's been happening prior?
If I'm correct, I might be wrong. Sorry, this is good podcast prep. It was done to change genes in a preborn infant,
a fetus,
yes,
a human fetus
in America.
That didn't happen in the U.S.
Okay,
CRISPR has been approved for use, but not for human genome editing. The only place that's happening is in China.
Well, then maybe I'm wrong. Well, there we go. So that shit's all over my point. So yeah, reanimate pigs. Fuck it. Let's go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The fact that the pig was dead is just because you have to have a state where there is no electrical activity in order to introduce it. That's why the pig being dead is incidental to the study. It has nothing to do with like.
But the fact that they actually put electrodes into a pig or whatever, an electric shock, whatever the fuck, into a pig's brain, and the pig's brain started reacting as if it was alive.
Right.
That makes us question things like death, consciousness, et cetera, but I don't really, bet the house on it. I hope there's something after we die. But I truly think that probably it's just oblivion. It's like...
I don't even hope. Like, if there is, he's got some explaining.
Yeah. My question would be dead babies. Why? And go.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't that one of Christopher Hitchens' big thing? He's like, if there is a God, he's got a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah, I would spend my entire afterlife just going, really? Really?
Really?
Just standing on a cloud, pointing down. Go, right there. Yeah. That. You see it?
Yeah.
What you fucking look away?
And by the way, you let children die, but you're worried about guys fucking each other in the ass more than children dying. The fuck is wrong with you? What kind of deity are you?
That's when he goes, that was taken out of context. I was misquoted.
Yeah, I'm all about the ass sex.
Yeah.
But to try and stay on point, though, I agree with you that what this says, the potential for a study like this and what it could say about death and consciousness could be very significant. And it could be that we start actually separating those terms. we kind of think of death as the death of consciousness, right? The true death. Your body can die, but it can be shocked back to life. But if your brain dies, we could keep your body running forever, and it doesn't mean that, quote unquote, you are there, right?
Well,
if your brain dies, your consciousness is gone. Well, at least that is a thought.
It also gets into what is consciousness, and then you start having conversations like, is it group consciousness? Because we all agree that we're conscious of ourselves. Does that mean, is that the only reason that we consider ourselves self-aware? I mean,
this is like curse of human memory. Like, if we didn't have memory, sure, we wouldn't probably be a successful enough species to reach the state that we have at this point in time. But also, if we didn't have memory, then we could actually just live in the moment and understand that our consciousness is only something that exists in the moment. The fact that we build memories upon memories upon memories inside of our brain makes us think that we're constructing something, that there has a framework, that we're like sculpting this consciousness around. And it's not there. It's just today's electrical impulses. Not even today. This moment, right now, as I'm speaking, that's what consciousness is.
All you think of is Bill Hicks right now. Oh my God, there is only this moment.
No, that's the shit I love about Aaron. You right there, what you just said, like how you just deconstructed it. It's only this. Yes, I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah, Bill Hicks. It's only this moment.
It's the only one that exists.
I don't know.
So what does it?
I'm a little uncomfortable with reanimating dead tissue.
Well, here's the question. Here's the real question that is yet to be answered. You can run electrical current and see the system work, right? But that's just basic functionality. Again, if we were standing around somebody who was just a vegetable, right? No brain activity, but their body was functioning perfectly. If you shocked that person and they spasmed, and maybe their eyes even opened and their arms and legs flailed around, we wouldn't look at that as consciousness still. We may, in a more primitive world where we didn't understand these differences, we might go, oh, he's still in there. Look, we can still make him move. But today we understand that's nothing.
It's an involuntary response.
Right. This is the doctor hitting you with the rubber hammer on the knee.
Yeah.
That's all that reaction is. It has zero to do with anything in there thinking about anything. It's just electrical. It's just a flow of electricity in the body.
Well, I mean,
that's all it is. I guess you can get the flow going back into let's call it the plumbing inside the brain, right? Because the flow it's not random. It's not like ball lightning and it just goes wherever it can. What our process of thinking and moving our body and breathing and all that happens on channels, right? And so you can reactivate those channels by running electricity through them, but does just that activity alone add up to the consciousness that we experience inside of our own heads?
That's
the question that's yet to be answered. The plumbing, it helps us know something more about how the plumbing of the structure inside of our brains works, and that can be helpful in probably numerous ways. Whether it will ever answer the question of what makes consciousness, I think that's a long way off, but it might be the start of finding that out.
Rich, hear me out. As I started this conversation on your side, and more and more, because think about, because there's a big part of me that's going, this is fucking with nature, right? This is fucking with nature. Do not fuck with nature. Nature always wins.
Okay, and real quick, just sometimes dead is better. Okay, but I had to say that, but go ahead.
But you could argue the entire practice of medicine is fucking with nature.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't see this as fucking with nature, though, because this is actually just trying to understand what nature has presented us. It's not trying to make it do anything unnatural. It's just using the state of death as a starting place to try and deconstruct how it works.
Listen to me. Here's my problem. I am very comfortable with the idea of you die and it's oblivion afterwards.
Yeah, me too.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, when people go, well, you're an atheist. What do you think happens when you die? I don't know. What happened before you were born? You don't remember it. It's oblivion. It is what it is. I'm okay with that. I'm terrified of being pulled out of that oblivion back to this world, because that is.
But you just watched Pet Sematary again.
I fucking know. I know. I'm sorry.
It's adding a little bit to it.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I didn't. But it's like it's terrifying to me. It's like motherfucker. I paid. Death is the ultimate. Well, you are born and you die. That is the. And when you face death, that's the ultimate terrifying thing. You should have peace after it, not like. Well, it's crazy. We shot some, electrical impulses into your brain, and hey, you got consciousness again for a couple minutes, and then you're dead again. It's like, stop fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me be dead. That it's just me. It's my hang up. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, science-wise,
you're afraid of scientists turning you into the butter robot from Rick and Morty. Where he gives consciousness to the robot so it can take commands, and he says, what is my purpose? And he says, to butter my bread. And he's like, oh. You see him look so dejected, like he's giving me consciousness just to make me a slave.
Sure. No, I know it.
And what about the old people that remember the old South Park episode with Stan's grandpa wanted to die because he was so. What about those people? Some guy finally kicks it at 99. He's like, "Yes." You bring him back.
Well,
God damn it!
Because I
finally died.
Because your thinking is framed in current knowledge of the human condition, right?
No, absolutely.
That can change.
I understand that. I understand.
Let me try this as an example for you. Okay, remember when I'll go back to photography. When photography started spreading all across the world,
miracles
virus
dropped like real quick.
Yeah. That was probably part of the reason why I keep using this as an analogy. I just finished this book that was about the rediscovery of magic in the world, and that magic went away gradually, but the final nail in the coffin was actually the spread of photography. Basically the collapse of possibilities. There were no longer the state of Schrodinger's cat being both alive and dead inside the box. When photography came along, we all ripped the lid off the box and took a look inside and made sure the cat was dead. So, but when photography came out, people believed that it would, a lot of things about it. It was unnatural, right? It's capturing light in weird ways. This is not science. This is magic. This is going to steal my soul and take something. It's imprinting some part of me in this film. How else could it exist? This is unnatural.
Yeah.
And we got used to it, and now it's just commonplace, right? Now, what if photography not only could steal your soul, but actually did capture you in a moment, and that, you die in a car accident, and we're able to take that photo and stick it into the fucking weird science scanner.
Weird science?
Oh boy.
And make a new you, right?
Would you have the all the experiences up to the point where you replicate you?
You have all of it. You have your entire life mysteriously somehow in that consciousness, and you come back. Now, if that happened, 100 plus years ago, like the spread of photography, it would just be as commonplace to us, right? We would accept that as just an option, even. It wouldn't be unnatural because we would understand it. And I know that's kind of fantastical to just say, oh, yeah, why don't you just believe in magic and you can believe in anything?
Well, no, Aaron.
At a certain point, you're not going to be just, maybe not you, maybe not us. Maybe we won't even live to see this, but at a certain point, the human race is going to be faced with it. It's not just a question of what is natural or not, just what is possible.
No,
it's not going to seem like it's unnatural to let your consciousness die. It's not going to seem like it is natural to necessarily let it die.
Well, it's going to seem
because what is base at our nature is striving to survive as long as fucking possible.
It's going to eventually it's going to be seen as what a waste of experience and the human experience when we can save it.
Choice to let your consciousness die would be akin to suicide. It would be mental illness to willingly let to not get your brain scan and grow a new body.
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
Our business needs vans, lots of vans, and Europcar meets our day-to-day needs all across the country, providing our company with the ideal selection of small, medium or large vans and trucks, and even bespoke commercial vehicles delivered directly to our premises.
From our 22 nationwide locations, Europcar supplies Irish businesses with an unrivaled range of vans, 4x4 pickups, 4-seater commercial SUVs and double cab tippers. With 9,000 vehicles in our fleet, there's no demand we can't fulfill. Europcar, moving your way.
Hey, everyone! Vinny the Frog here down at Aquazone and the Sport Ireland campus in Blanchardstown. Come and enjoy tropical wild water fun. Aquazone is open daily this summer, just minutes from Junction 6 on the M50. Book now at aquazone.ie.
Sometimes you've just got to get some quality me time. Like right now, when you get away for a few hours to Kildare Village, because we've got hundreds of new arrivals, including new boutiques like Sandro and Maj. Escape to Kildare Village and get front row ready for a new season with a new look and a new smile on your face. A little me time goes a long way at Kildare Village, where there's something extraordinary every day.
ChristopherMedia.net. Unregimented.
And here's the thing. I get it, man. You are the sci-fi optimist of this podcast. You've always been. And part of me wants to be that way. But the cynical part of me is like, who's going to control this? The government or corporations? And neither is going to do
lose.
Yeah. That's where I. And forgive me, I know I'm wearing a tinfoil hat, but I mean, at that point, it's like, I don't trust either of them. So what are we supposed to do with this?
Well, look, there's cultural shifts that happen that not even governments can control. And, the government the spread of the idea of the automobile was infectious, the same way that photography was. And it didn't take large governments going, hey, this is a good idea for our people and for our economy, so we got to get together and build these cars. Eventually, once the cars were already out there tearing up the dirt roads and everything, then the government had to get together and go, we have to react to this, and we'd start building some actual roads across the whole nation so that we have somewhere for all these cars to go.
But see, I think
the government deals with the fallout of
yes,
big
they're
events.
They're reactionary. They're not proactive.
Right. But yet, when it comes to what could be another more major thing than even just the technology of the car itself, but how we power it and everything else in our country, then the government already has their hands in that and has control over whether we're going to be more reliant on coal and fossil fuels or whether we are going to go with renewable energy resources or nuclear or anything like that.
But see, I think
it's bad progress, but there's a certain point where nuclear energy as progress is still it's still a matter of debate for people for some reason.
Well, the risk reward is very much in the reward category. Right. The risk there is a risk, and you have to admit that, and to go, well, shit happened, Chernobyl, and we almost had a meltdown with 3 Mile Island, and that shit, that's not a big deal. No, there is a risk, but it's tiny compared to the rewards we reap.
Yes, but the only reason I was bringing that up is to say that there are bigger things that happen to the human race that the government can't, as much as like energy use seems like a huge thing. Like that's a controllable thing for a government.
But see,
the concept that you could save and back up your brain in some way and have some sort of official afterlife is something that no government will be able to ultimately control, not in the long term. And the people, the human race will demand this as a human right, right? Our human rights evolve with our needs. And at a certain point, the human race in general is going to be like, no, the afterlife, or whatever we want to call it, this second life, or just not dying, being able to endlessly transport our consciousness into other forms or other bodies or anything like that, is a basic human right. And we will construct governments around that. We will construct laws around that. These are things that something like our understanding of consciousness and is going to be so, it's going to change the world so much that the individual governments, even big ones like the U.S., are going to be insignificant to that. They can't halt that kind of progress. So it's not really a question of like how, the government can control this or that.
No, but here's the thing: the government won't control it. Private industry will, and we are depending on the altruism of private industry.
I have more faith in private industry simply because they have skin in the game, whereas government doesn't.
Yeah, but I
government's
think
a regulatory body, whereas private industry,
But Chris, that goes back to who do you trust? Do you trust shareholders? Oh, by the way, which you don't own enough shares. Oh, you don't own enough shares to have say so, or do you trust people you can vote out of office?
I trust people who, when they succeed, they have skin in the game. If they succeed with advancing their technology, they make money. Like there's more motivation with private industry, I guess, is my point. Government is their motivation is to just regulate.
Look at
private industry.
I think we need to define the field that we're talking about, though. This takes. We're talking over a long timeline. Yes, during the process of the technology, if it exists, of it actually being invented and starting to be put into use, is going to be like anything. It's going to be controlled by corporations. It's going to be for people that can afford it. But
let me use the cell phone as an example.
Concept is going to break down society in different ways. So over the course of the next 100 years after that, we're going to be living in a society that is completely different. And I doubt that corporate interests are going to have as much power as they do in this current period that they do in history.
I'm just going to use the cell phone as an example. If you think the government was in charge of cellular technology that we get from the bag phone to the smartphone in 15 years, we'd probably still be carrying around a fucking bag phone.
Well, I guess it depends on which technology you're talking about, because the government was definitely active in wireless communication. And as far as what your phone looks like, if you have to sling it over your shoulder or you can fit it in your pocket, that's private industry.
Boom. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's private. If you got skin in the game, you're a little bit more motivated to perhaps maybe, like, I'm not saying you're always going to do the right thing, but to advance the technology advancing it works out well for you.
Well, you're not motivated to do the right thing or the wrong thing. You're motivated to do the thing that makes money.
Yes, which that's why I have a little bit more faith.
Short term, that's probably what it's going to look like. But if we want to talk about the greater ramifications of the science that we're talking about, it's not the short term, a few decades in the future, and the super rich start backing up their consciousness. That's going to happen most likely. But the long term ramifications for this means generations and generations of people down the line that now just it's not even unnatural or something that you do, like, right, to not do it would be so commonplace in the future, and so accepted that to not do it would be considered mental illness, would be akin to suicide.
You know, by the way, I think I'm unfairly picking on the government. I think we'd be at the Zach Morris phone by now. Wouldn't be in a bag. We'd evolve to the brick.
Right.
But it's trust me. This I could argue on both sides of this all day.
Well, hold on, but to say it's a mental illness to suicide, that to me that goes back to, okay, the only thing you're actually born with that you have control of is your body, yourself. And so if someone wants to commit suicide, go ahead, take yourself out.
Well, that's the endless paradox. I don't know if we can get beyond that. The paradox being that if you should have full control over yourself, your consciousness, and your body as long as you are in right mind, and wanting to wish to end yourself in some way is not considered to be in your right mind. So then you can never, in a healthy way, commit suicide.
Well, that's that. And the scary part is, okay, let's say you commit suicide, but your family can't deal with it. So, and they have money, and this is, obviously, hundreds of years in the future. Well, let's bring them back. Let's shoot.
These are going to be human rights issues that we are going to have to answer in the future. And it might be that, okay, so it might be we have a generation of people that have what Chris was laying out as an example, corporate interests and people with wealth controlling this technology. Then you have further generations of people who come to accept this as a human right and think that it would be mental illness to choose to not back yourself up. But then where do all these people go, right? All these consciousnesses. Nobody's dying. So certainly we have to move off of the earth in some way. But even then, we just keep going. I think after that, you might have generations, hundreds and hundreds of years in the future of people who are now essentially immortal. I think you are going to have people that choose to say, hey, this is it for me. You know what? 2,000 years is good. I'm going to call it. I'm going to have a big party. Everyone's going to get together. I'm going to delete my consciousness.
Well,
that would actually be an honorable thing to do at that point. Hey, you've lived your life and you're making your choice.
Thank you for letting me know I'm not as simple as I thought I was. Because one of the first thoughts I had when we started this was wouldn't we run out of room? There's already 7 billion of us.
But see, Chris, that's the thing is that not everyone wants to live forever, and if you do live to see, people you care about, go, I don't want to live forever, so I'm going to whatever, delete myself, my consciousness, whatever.
But we're speaking from a place of ignorance. We don't know what it's like to live forever. We're thinking about living forever as a curse. Like the guy who asked the genie for eternal life, but forgot to ask for eternal use. So he just continued to degrade.
Aaron,
Highlander.
I think okay, Chris, you're kind of you're on what you're kind of on what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Millennial Man. You ever seen that movie with Robin Williams? Ultimately,
he lives at home till he's 30.
He's like, oh, no, that's Jack. It's a good movie too, but whatever.
It was a joke on millennials, sir.
Oh,
anyway, sorry.
See. Yeah. Taking shit too
I'm
serious.
following you both. It's all good.
Yeah, hold on a sec. Let me hit this. I was taking life too serious.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, ultimately, he's like, I just want to experience the human condition, which is you live, you have a lot of experiences, you see amazing things, you're part of amazing things, maybe, and then you die. That's natural. Right. It's natural.
That's a healthy attitude because that is the current situation that we live in. But at some point in the future, that is not going to be the case. That is considered just natural life.
Okay, so Aaron, I just want you to understand this. I get that, but that the idea of it terrifies me.
It doesn't give me much comfort either, but I think there's some fascination mixed in with the fear too. For myself, because
I would absolutely buy into it if it was sold the right way. Like, you're gonna live in perpetuity for whatever, but we're gonna send you out into the deepest, darkest parts of the universe, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Okay. Like something like that. Like, okay, all right, yeah. Then I'm willing to take that chance.
That's part of it. Is that it's not just about there's no limit, no artificial limit on your life anymore. It's just however long you want it to be. There's probably also not going to be a limit on the things in the universe to explore for you. The idea of like all these consciousness and all these people continuing to live forever, it's not going to happen on one planet. And if you can back up a consciousness and put it into a new body, and that's how you're immortal, well, then you can go practically anywhere in the universe.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have to travel. You don't have to go into stasis. What you do is you put a body, or just a system to grow a body into a spaceship, and you send that to another planet, and then you beam your consciousness there when it's ready.
I'm in. Let's go.
I'd rather
the things that you have to experience, there's no analog. There's no analog for your current situation to apply to that and go, oh yeah, I could or could not do that. I would or would not be happy with that. I would make these decisions. We're all speaking from a place of ignorance, where our brains are going to be opened up in ways that it's like the paradox. It's why I always take exception to the phrase, if I were blank, if I were he, if I were she, if I were that guy, let me tell you what I would do. No, you know what you would do? Exactly what that guy did, because you'd be him. You would be that person. You have no idea what their exact thoughts are. But if you were that person and you did know, you would do exactly what they did, because that's what that person does. So you can't know completely. You can't say, in the future, I would rather die. I mean, fine. I think this is all we're talking about, and I think these are fascinating subjects to explore. But to be so definitive in your answer as to how you would think about being "quote unquote" immortal in that way is impossible to know, because you're not, and you don't even know what it would be like to be immortal.
Yes, I get that, but you have to understand that we are finite humans talking about infinite subjects. Absolutely. Okay, we don't know. We're coming at it from we have an expiration date. We don't know. Okay, I mean, look, if I could with my own eyes look out a porthole and see the planet Jupiter as I'm passing by it, and the Galilean moons as I'm passing by it, I would go, yeah, I would trade a lot. I'd trade everything I know in my life right now for that, because it would be something amazing. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't. People go, well, what about what the Red Wings and the Tigers are doing? I'm not worried about it at that point. I am literally looking at Jupiter in a way that no human has ever done before. There's things I'll sacrifice for that.
You just joined the Space Force.
Yeah, well. I mean, I already signed up as a shuttle door gunner. Are you kidding me? Shit. But
you get to see the galaxy. The government will pay for college.
But I mean, like, other people are like, no, I would never do that. And okay, fine, I get that. But the idea.
But you don't know what you would do, because you're not actually forced to make that decision, right?
No,
we can make definitive statements about this when we have no actual choice in it.
We can make definitive statements about bullshit.
There's Adam Carolla had talked on his podcast this last week about Yakov Smirnoff, and him telling the joke about the communists and two communists talking to each other, and he said, "You're my communist brother." And you would do, he's like, so you would share anything, right? So if you had two houses, you would give me one. And oh yeah, absolutely, brother. I would give you one of my houses. And if you had two cars, you would give me one of them because we share everything. Absolutely, you're my comrade. We share. I give you one of my cars. And if you had two chickens, you would give them to me. And he says, no, I have two chickens. Right? The difference being now we're talking about a real situation, not a theoretical one. When it's talking about reality, we make our decisions then and they're based in reality, not based on ideals.
Yeah,
and that applies to communism, but I think it applies just to human thinking. You know, when we're dealing with the concrete, it's black or white.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. But I would see. I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. I don't know if I would trade what you're saying as far as your consciousness existing beyond your physical body, death, and then we can put your consciousness into a new body, for lack of a better way to put it.
It's not that bizarre. We already have concepts for this that go all the way back through history. We already still believe, even people who don't consider themselves religious still believe that there is some sort of spirit, a spirit us that exists separate from our body.
That's what scares me. Because no. But here's the thing. When my dad died, I saw him in the
bookcase. He was in a black hole pushing the books out. Sorry.
You done? Okay.
Yes.
All right. No, I saw him in the Undertaker's. They were doing the makeup on him and stuff, and I saw him before they put all the makeup on him, and I was with my uncle, and I looked at him and I said, "That's just the vessel that carried the essence of my father, your brother."
Yeah.
I wasn't upset at seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, because whatever essence, what you're saying is not there anymore. And that's what terrifies me. If I'm dead, clinically, we can fire a few, neutrons through your head and blah, 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 whatever the fuck, and it's like, oh yeah. But what are you waking up? And yes, I know I fucking watched Pet Sematary recently, but I mean, it's like, what?
Well, that's the unknown. That's probably what scares you.
Let me be fucking dead. All right, God damn it! I went through this entire life. Didn't I earn rest? Like, stop fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel. Like, just stop fucking with me. I've earned this. That's what we all do.
I think you're in the majority, honestly. But there's plenty of fiction that points to that as constant. There's very few instances in fiction where people come back from the dead and everything goes fine. Right? That shows our fear of it, even though we might strive to live as long as possible. The idea of like what you're saying, Chris, of playing God.
Isn't that all I can think about right now is the Sam Kinison necrophiliac bit?
Yes. Yeah. Life keeps fucking you in the ass even after you're dead.
Yeah. Finally, I'm dead. And then, oh, no, what is this? Oh, what are you doing?
There's a dick in my ass. Yeah, what the fuck? Life keeps fucking you after you're dead.
I know one thing. There's no way to segue out of this conversation.
Yeah.
I think my brain's broken.
Well, see, we reanimate it.
Yeah.
What's this conversation all about?
Reanimate it for next week.
Yes. So, yep, I'm sure this week will be the last we ever hear of the Mueller report. I'm sure everything will just go away. Yeah, no, absolutely not. But, yeah. Thanks to everyone, new listeners. You found us on Spreaker.com. Welcome. Spreaker has decided they like what we do here at Christopher Media, and they want to help grow our audience. So, cool. So if you found us through them, thanks. And if you like it, tell a friend, because that's how this shit works. It's podcasts. They grow organically. And we're on Twitter at @unregimentedpod. You can email us at regiment@christophermedia.net. Do shows on Saturdays. We're still in all the usual places, too. If you listen on iTunes, you listen on Spotify, you listen on christophermedia.net, you can still listen there. We just have someone helping us. We have someone who has given us a bigger megaphone. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
All right, later, guys.
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
Our business needs vans, lots of vans, and Europcar meets our day-to-day needs all across the country, providing our company with the ideal selection of small, medium or large vans and trucks, and even bespoke commercial vehicles delivered directly to our premises.
From our 22 nationwide locations, Europcar supplies Irish businesses with an unrivaled range of vans, 4x4 pickups, 4-seater commercial SUVs and double cab tippers. With 9,000 vehicles in our fleet, there's no demand we can't fulfill. Europcar, moving your way.
After a great start to the Euro 2020 qualifiers, the Republic of Ireland look to continue their 100% home record as they take on Switzerland on Thursday, September 5th at Aviva Stadium. Then on Tuesday, September 10th, we go again at Aviva for the 3 international friendly versus Bulgaria. Kick-off for both games 7:45. Show your support for the boys in green this September. Tickets on sale now starting at €20 from fai.ie/tickets. Booking fee applies.
ChristopherMedia.net. If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.